I love you guys too. This is such a great community, and I really feel like there's a lot of acceptance and support and love in this community, and I really want to make sure that I'm spreading that support out as much as I possibly can. So I try to show up in everybody's stream, and even if I'm just lurking, I'm usually there. So
We appreciate you.
Yes, definitely.
thank you. All right, so we'll jump right into. I think the next one is before and after.
Oof.
So on the left is my before photos. In my Denver Broncos gear. I don't know if that's any better than Philadelphia Eagles, but nonetheless, that was back in August of 2018. For reference, I'm 5'9", so I am tall.
Oh,
Yeah, I am
you're my
tall.
height.
And
Jeez.
at my heaviest, I was
Me too.
Jeez.
338 pounds.
Wow.
I started kind of really talking about weight loss surgery in August of 2018, and that was when I was at my heaviest. And then I actually went and had surgery, weight loss surgery. I had a gastric sleeve in December of 2018. So this photo where it was 318 pounds, that was actually taken 4 days before my surgery. Um, Fast forward a couple of years to August 2020. That is my wedding date, where I weighed 171 pounds. I was on the left photos. I was a size 28 in jeans for females out there who know what that may be. And the wedding dress that I'm wearing was actually my mother's, and it's a size 16.
Oh.
And so that was definitely the goal that I was very excited to achieve. This is actually my second marriage. And my first marriage, I couldn't even think about putting the dress on my left arm, let alone around my whole body. So being able to fit into it comfortably without needing any type of alterations or anything it was really a great feeling. The only thing that I did have altered was this dress was from the 70s, and so it had giant puffy sleeves, and I was like, no, we got to fix that. So and then December of 2021, that is when I was at my smallest at 158 pounds. So 5'9", 158. For anybody who's out there counting, that's 180 pounds. Yeah. So that's my before and after.
Awesome.
That is awesome. Proud of you.
Thanks.
I know. I am too, and I have so many questions, but I'm going to let you keep going because you may answer them. It's going to be very hard for me to just put a sock in it. Jay knows I get overexcited, and then I'm like,
No, by all means, ask away because I don't mind reiterating or answering twice. So if you
No,
have,
we'll
okay.
get there. You just keep talking about your journey because I want to hear all the details and everything you're going to bring up, and I'm going to wait my turn. I'm going to wait.
I'm fascinated.
I know, right? I'm in for this story.
Mhm.
Cool.
I am
All right.
too, because I'm actually debating surgery myself.
All right, cool. Yeah. So food relationships. This one was very difficult for me. So for anybody who is thinking about going into weight loss surgery or talking to their doctor about it, one thing that they're going to request that you do is really examine your food relationships. A lot of them ask you to do that by writing down a food diary. And then you also have to see a mental health therapist, some sort of a mental health professional, to make sure that your headspace is right, right? Because a lot of people think that they're going to go in and have surgery and that's just going to fix everything. When in fact, the surgery is simply a tool to help you lose weight. You still have to follow very specific guidelines. It is a lifestyle change. And if you don't have the mindset to do that, it's going to fail just like anything else. The therapist asked me, well, what's going to happen the next time that you go to a funeral? And I was like, that's a really odd question. And I don't understand what that has to do with weight loss surgery. And he said, well, what do you do when you go to a funeral? And I was like, well, I mean, you cry and most of the time you pray or, what have you. And then you go somewhere and you eat. And he was like, that's my point. It doesn't matter what function you go to in the American society, if you will. It's all centered around you go somewhere and you eat. Weddings, funerals, baby showers, bridal showers, housewarming, barbecues, birthdays, so on and so forth. So you really have to look at that food relationship and understand where you fit in there and what changes you'll have to make. Okay, so moving on. So there's two really important things to understand with your relationships with food from my perspective. And again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional. I'm just talking about the journey that I went through. So you have the nutrition and the energy piece, right? You have to eat. People, as a human being, you have to eat. Calories, carbs, proteins, sugars, fibers, vitamins, everything is important to sustain a healthy lifestyle, which is why a lot of people who are severely overweight, like I was, morbidly obese, they'll try these fad diets like the keto diet or the South Beach diet or whatever, and they fail horribly because your body still has to have all of these pieces in order to function properly. One of the things that I struggle with the worst is getting in my protein. With a gastric sleeve, for anybody who's not aware, basically they go in and they cut 70% of your stomach out. So your stomach is now smaller than the size of a banana, and you still have to get in specific levels of each of these different nutrients. So as somebody who weighs about 165 pounds and is 5'9", I should be consuming 60 grams of protein in a day. That is a lot of protein. Um, if you think of the protein shakes that you can get at the store, the little, cardboard ones, what have you, those are 30 grams a piece. So you think it wouldn't be that difficult, but with a stomach that's smaller than the size of a banana, you can't drink one of those in one sitting. So it takes me basically 4 meals to complete 2 cartons of a protein shake.
Mhm.
Learning how to eat appropriate foods at the appropriate times after the surgery is what's really difficult, because you still have to balance your calories, your carbs, your proteins, so on and so forth, right? So you sit down to any type of a meal, and the first thing you do is you try to get in as much of the meat and the cheese, the protein pieces, as you possibly can. And when you're kind of hitting your limit is when you then go for a little bit of carbs or a little bit of sugars in the breads or the pastas or something. um, so it's very, very difficult. And again, that example of the 165 should be consuming 60 grams of protein. That's just for my body type. I'm what's considered sedimentary. I don't do a whole lot of exercising. I don't go run stairs or lift weights or do aerobics. I do some yoga on occasion when I might feel a little frisky, but I don't I don't do a whole lot, right? I work at a desk all day long, and then I'm mentally drained, and so I just want to sit down and relax after work, and I'm not, running marathons. So it's going to be different who weightlift or exercise more heavily than I do. So again, if it's something that you're thinking about, just make sure that you talk to your doctor before you get anything set in stone. And then that second piece is the emotional and social, right? So a lot of people don't understand or don't realize that they're not really hungry; they're just bored. And I have to say this to my 9-year-old all the time. He gets home from school, he has a snack, and then we have dinner, and then at about 6:30, he says, "Mom, I'm hungry." Well, no, you're not hungry. You just had dinner, and what you are is you're bored. So let's find something to do that will curb that boredom, and then you're no longer going to be hungry. And trying to teach those good habits of when it's appropriate to eat and when it's not. And if you think about any type of social event, right? Doesn't matter what. I feel like I'm missing something. What am I missing?
I have a
think she has
question.
Oh, okay, okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, can we go back to that other slide, Jinkies, real quick? Was it
Mhm.
slide 7? Yeah. Okay. So, I'm just curious. So, for you, obviously, you didn't get to 338 pounds overnight.
Mhm.
So, when you were going through that whole process of uncovering what was driving it, would you say it was more based on like historical programming, like from the time you were a child, like we talk about people who have always been part of like the clean plate club, right? They weren't allowed to leave the table unless their plate was empty. We talk about things like emotional trauma and eating for, comfort versus triggers where, it is a social event. So naturally you just kind of, go for it. I mean, can you say anything about like what was your biggest, I guess, a challenge to overcome in terms of how you addressed your mindset? Because I think a lot of people struggle with that. Like they acknowledge and they know they're overweight, but coming to that understanding and that healing or that transition from what the problem is for why you're eating so much to, that new lifestyle. Like
Mhm.
I'm just, can you talk a little bit more about that for me?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the answer to that question is actually going to really surprise you, right? So, growing up, I've always been fat ever since I was a little kid. I've always been fat, and the girl that I used to hang out with in daycare all the time, she used to say, It's just baby weight. You're not really fat. It's just baby weight. You're just." And I never really understood that, right? My mom's fat, my dad's fat, my brother was fat, I was fat, my grandmother was fat. Like we were all just fat. And although it wasn't a "you can't leave the table unless your plate is clean" kind of mentality, it was absolutely a "well, you get to have a sweet if your plate's clean." Um,
Ah,
and so there was, that type of thing. And I joke around with my husband now because I was born and raised in Denver, Colorado, and Halloween in Denver, Colorado is always snowing, regardless. Like Mother Nature just has it on her calendar. It's going to be a blizzard that day. So your costume must fit over a parka. But at the same time, my parents, it was the one night of the year where they could really force anything that they wanted us to eat down our throats, because in Denver
Mhm.
you don't go trick or treating until after you finish dinner. It's got to be dark outside before you can go trick or treating.
mm.
So my parents would come up with the nastiest shit ever to feed us, whether it was lima bean soup or oxtail stew or whatever nastiness they wanted to come up with. We had to
Fun.
eat X amount of it before we could go trick or treating, right? So it's memories of stuff like that, and because there was always the excuse of, well, everybody's fat, like it must be genetics. Part of it is I'm still, you all saw my before and after photos, and I am still definitely a larger woman, even though my weight does not say that I am. So I think that there is some of it that is genetic. Um, but the tipping point for me, to answer your question, it wasn't overcoming any type of emotional trauma, or unlearning what my parents had taught me. It was that at some point I had to become responsible for myself. I had to be honest to myself. So when my doctor said, you need to write out a food journal, and the therapist was saying you need to be honest with yourself about what you're eating and why you're eating it, I said to myself, I am going to be honest about this. And writing out that food journal, where the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning is you go to the gas station and you get yourself a 32-ounce Coke with a package of 8 chocolate frosted donuts, the little mini donuts, whatever. And that's your breakfast
Oh
until you
no.
make it to work. And then you go and you get, some chips or whatever to hold you off until second breakfast, whatever your
Wow.
meals look like. So
Yeah,
really
yeah.
being honest with myself about what I was eating and when I was eating it, um it- that's what triggered for me. Like no wonder it doesn't matter whether you eat smaller portions, it doesn't matter whether you um make better decisions. No wonder you can't do anything here.
Can one last question. So, would you say growing up that you had a good blueprint for what healthy eating looked like? Like if you had to look back on what you guys were eating as a family together, would you say it was mostly healthy? Or I mean, like, in the big picture, because obviously, if you were eating things like ox, whatever, lentil beans, I don't even know what you said, but that, I think I mentally blocked it. Um, I kind of feel like, okay, well, maybe there was some healthy food stuffs in there, but then you're saying like it's a certain point you transition to a 32-ounce Coke and donuts for breakfast. And I'm like, I'm trying to kind of see how you went from that funky stuff as a kid, which kind of sounded, I mean, healthy-ish, right? Except for like the dessert sweets, to now you've gravitated to bad eating habits. You know, I mean, I don't know what the rest of your day looked like, but certainly if that was your breakfast in the morning, I can't imagine the day got any better.
Yeah, definitely not much better. I can assure you of that. Um, as I was growing up, very rarely were meals cooked at home. A vast majority of the time, we went out to eat.
Okay.
Because I did not, let me preface, I should have prefaced this before. I had a fantastic childhood. My parents were fantastic parents. They still are. They're still married. Like, I have no complaints. The Halloween thing was just kind of funny that, that's the time that they really
Okay.
forced us to eat nasty stuff, but a vast majority of the time it was going out. Now, it wasn't going out to like fast food or something like that, but it was
Sure.
going out to mainly buffets. Um
Mm. So no portion control, really. It was just
right.
whatever you felt like you ate.
Yes,
Essentially.
exactly.
Okay.
And it was always, I see that you've got yourself some chicken wings and some macaroni and cheese, but what about a vegetable? Like, where's your greenery? So there was a
Okay.
conversation about the different food groups and knowing, where you should cut the line and stuff. However, um, if you're going to eat, just eat was my parents' motto, right? If you're going to eat it, just eat it. And if there was limits being placed on my brother and I for foods, oftentimes we would sneak it, right? So if they were to tell us, no, you're not to have any more food for the night, oftentimes we would sneak down into the kitchen after everybody went to bed and steal what we wanted to have and then take it anyway, right? So like, food was just always something that was readily available to us, and it was never something that was really frowned upon, and it was always a boredom cure for us. If you're bored, you just go and get something to eat, right? And the transition from what my parents fed us, being, kind of whatever you wanted at the buffet, into the garbage that I was eating. 90% of it, honestly, was had my first baby when I was 16, and I had to grow up really fast. Uh,
Mm.
but you don't really learn how to do that on your own. You don't learn how to go grocery shopping. That's not something that's really a taught lesson until you kind of have to do it. And so I didn't
Yeah.
know how to grocery shop. So you go to the grocery store and you get stuff that's easy and cheap.
Yeah.
So, you're looking at Pop Tarts or all of that, anything that is easy and cheap, the nutritional value is very, very low.
Yeah. In the garbage.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Sorry. I just needed to kind of get that dialogue out.
Totally fine. Totally fine. I encourage
I
the
was very
questions.
curious. Okay.
So when you think about social events, right, it doesn't matter what the season is, spring, summer, fall, winter. If you're going to a birthday party, this is what my mind automatically goes to. So if I'm planning an event, such as, I'm making Easter dinner, if you will. Before I decide the guest list of the people that I'm going to be inviting, I decide what the menu is, and that's kind of how it's always been. And I think that there's a lot of people who plan things the same way. They ensure that they're going to have enough food for the people that are coming, and it's not, well, we're going to serve lox and schmear on bagels. It's, we're going to order pizzas, and so thinking about these social events prior to surgery and now surgery, it's a completely different animal all the way around, right? So if I'm going to go to a backyard barbecue, for the 4th of July or something, I have to prepare myself to understand what my limits are and what I have to concentrate on, and how I'm going to have difficult conversations, which I'll talk about in a little bit, which is a real thing after surgery.
But are you planning for leftovers? I know when I'm planning meals, I'm always planning for leftovers so I don't have to cook later on in the week. I'm just being honest.
Hey,
I
that's how
don't
we do.
actually. Yeah, I actually don't do that. If I'm trying to do something like that, I will make 2 meals and I'll
Mm,
freeze one for later, but I don't plan for leftovers. I'm actually in the process of trying very hard to learn how to shop and cook for the 5 people in the house, because I'm typically cooking for an army because I don't know any better, because again, we ate out most of the time when I was a kid,
mm.
and so, it's something that I'm learning how to do at, this ripe old age of being a grandma, but nonetheless, it's something that I'm working on. So, all right, next slide.
Sorry, my mouse got lost there.
So my successes and struggles, and this is a very high and low kind of slide here. So we're going to talk about successes first, because happy thoughts first, and then we'll talk about the hard parts.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Most definitely. Yeah, growing up, growing up as a kid, we stayed having leftovers, so I know the struggle is real with that one.
Yeah, yeah. And you can only eat something so many times before you're like, can I get anything else? I will order
Yes,
pizza.
yes. I agree. I agree
That's
with that.
fair. That's fair.
So I've worked for the same company for the last 17 years of my life, right? So ever
Mhm.
since I was a young spring chicken, up until now. And in that time period, I had the opportunity to work my way up. And about 4 years ago, I guess now, I took a position that allowed me to travel a lot with work, which was a
Hmm.
fantastic opportunity, and I was super excited to see different places and learn different things.
That's
But
so cool.
I was terrified.
Really?
I was too big to fit into an airplane seat. It was going to
Oh.
be extremely uncomfortable. I was going to be embarrassed. I didn't want to do it. Um, and now I comfortably fit in an airplane seat. I don't have to ask for a second seat because of my size. I don't have to turn sideways and, suck in your gut when you walk down the center aisle. I'm not bumping into people when I do walk down the aisle. It doesn't matter whether I'm in the front seat, the middle seat, the back seat, on the window. I fit comfortably in an airplane. And that was definitely one of my biggest uh, goals when I started this weight loss journey. When my therapist asked me, well, what weight do you want to be at? And I said, I don't have a number. I don't know what that looks like. I want to fit in an airplane and I want to be able to ride a roller coaster. That's my weight goal.
I love that one.
So
Yeah.
now I do. Yeah, go ahead, Big J. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. So when you say that, I can definitely relate to that because last year, when I went to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I was a lot bigger. So certain airplanes that I rode, I had to get an extension because I was a lot bigger. So I know that feeling of wanting to be smaller to be able to actually fit in one seat and not worry about having to get an extender or have to fit in like two seats. Like, thank goodness I wasn't that big, but I had to get an extender because I was a lot bigger back then. So it was quite embarrassing. But when I was on the Southwest, it was like their seats and their stuff is a lot bigger, so I didn't have to
Yep.
worry about that. But other planes, it was just like embarrassing. So
Yeah. That Frontier bullshit. I don't fly Frontier anyway, but no, those planes are awful. But Southwest, shameless plug. Can I get a sponsorship? Anyway,
hey,
and to your point, right? Comfortably buckle a seatbelt, whether it's in a plane, a train, or your own automobile. So I put a photo of me and my son there in the top left, where I'm wearing a seatbelt, because prior to surgery, I made every excuse in the book as to why I didn't need to wear a seatbelt in the car. Uh, People could say it was safer. I knew somebody who, if they actually didn't have a seatbelt on, they probably would have survived their crash. That's absolutely a one-off scenario. Um, but I would use that as an excuse, right? I don't need to wear a seatbelt. And the reason that I made those excuses was not because I believed that I was safe without a seatbelt on, but because I was too embarrassed to try to figure out how to stretch the seatbelt far enough across to get around me, or carry an extender in somebody else's car. So the ability to be able to click that little seatbelt and you still have plenty of rope here that you can pull, it's a feeling like nobody else, right?
one of the best feelings there is.
Yeah. So shopping, right? As a much larger woman, there's very specific stores that you can shop at. You can go to Walmart if you don't mind dressing like you're 70, which some people are okay with. That's kind of not my bag. I do like to be somewhat stylish. Um, or you pay a lot of money for stylish clothing at places like Lane Bryant or Torrid, or places that are specifically made for stylish larger ladies. Now I can go to Target because, Target is totally a step above Walmart. And I can comfortably fit in their clothing, right? So now a vast majority of the time I do buy my stuff from Old Navy because I do feel like it's a little bit better quality, but it's still not as expensive as like a department store or going to the Buckle or something like that, right? So shopping is a lot easier. But I'm gonna table that one for the struggles piece as well, which I'll get to when we get over there. But shopping, I bought this awesome little sequined shamrock shirt for St. Patrick's Day this year, and I was super proud of it. So I had to show that off.
Super cute, by the way. Love it.
Thank you. It's so cool because if you flip the sequins the other way, it's the Irish flag. Because
Oh, that's
why not?
awesome.
Yeah, it was super cool.
That's
So then
awesome.
ease of movement, right? So it's a lot easier for me to get up and down off the couch or out of bed. Um, or even when I'm walking in the city. So I work in the city of Philadelphia. It's very quick. There is a thing called the Philly Walk, which people acquire after they've been here for 10-ish minutes. Um, but if you don't walk at a very brisk pace in the city, you will get trampled, specifically if you're taking any type of public transit, right? So
Wow.
I live in New Jersey, but I work in Philadelphia. So I take public transit from New Jersey to Philadelphia, and getting in those train stations down under the city, you got to walk. And just being able to swiftly move with the crowd and not be huffing and puffing or running up the stairs to get out of the subway station, and not feeling like I might actually die when I hit the top. And it's just super convenient to be able to move a lot easier because I'm not carrying so much weight around. And I have the ability to be more active. So before, you're always kind of lethargic. And although I don't move a whole lot right now, like, please don't get it twisted, I'm not out like doing triathlons or anything. But I don't mind going and taking a walk, or I don't mind walking around the mall, or exploring new areas that I've never been to before. I don't mind doing those things. Instead of trying to avoid them, I'm like, sure, why not? Like, we don't have nothing else to do right now, right?
Right.
The self-awareness. So a lot of times beforehand, walking through a parking lot and you see two cars that are parked, and you think, there is no way I'm making it in between those two cars with the side view mirrors, and no, I'll have to figure out another way to go around.
Yeah.
And now having that self-awareness to be able just to slide right through. And maybe sometimes you do got to kind of shimmy to the side or what have you, because I did have two kids, I got some hips on me. But being self-aware of knowing that I can fit into these or through these smaller spaces, and that was definitely one of the first things that I really realized, that I had lost so much weight, was the self-awareness of being able to fit in these smaller areas. More healthy, right? So I've through the journey, doing the journaling, talking to the therapist, I've really learned what makes healthier choices, what constitutes as healthy food, right? You can live off of salad and birdseed and be as skinny as a rail, but you're not healthy. You can live off of nothing but steak and chicken, but you're not healthy. And so really being able to balance all of that out, not only for your taste buds, but also for your nutrition, is super important. And I like being able to learn that and combine things together that I didn't think of before. Like, I cooked parsnips the other day for the first time. I didn't like them, but I tried it. Just putting that out there.
Hey, just a little help with your parsnips. If you do roasted vegetables and you do the parsnips in there, or if you do like a stew with diced up parsnips in there, you'd never know the difference.
I roasted them. They were nasty. I was like, we need something. Can a girl get some ranch dip or something in here? I mean,
What did you when you made them, how did you roast them? Did you do like anything on them? I usually do like extra virgin olive oil and then like allspice, just to kind of juice it up a bit.
Okay, so I did EVOO, and then I had some Italian seasoning and some salt and pepper.
Hmm.
So
What else did you put with it?
a pork
Like,
meatloaf.
oh, okay. Because I was just saying, like, when I roast the vegetables, I do like a full tray of like broccoli, carrots, potatoes, usually red, and I like the new potatoes, the little small
Mhm.
white ones, and then dice up the parsnip and just chuck it all together. And
Yeah, that was probably where I went wrong. Is I decided I was only doing roasted parsnips. Not a
ooh,
good idea.
oh yeah,
Not a
no.
good idea.
But next time.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last success is the confidence, right? So confidence to do really cool things. Bottom right hand photo is a photo of me and my husband back on May 13th. It was a Friday, and we decided to go to a cemetery on Friday
Ooh.
the 13th at 9 p.m. And watch a string quartet play horror theme songs from popular TV and movies by candlelight. And I never
Wow.
would have had the confidence to go and do something like that. I never would have been able to do that, right? And the scenery was amazing. As you can see, there's many different levels behind us with the candles and such, and it was bonkers. And I would love to show you a video of that afterwards because holy shit, it was mind blowing. But having the confidence to do something like that. The
That's
left hand
awesome.
the left hand photo is me and my sister-in-law. We were out at a paintball arena because I thought I was something special, and I can't even shoot people in a video game. What the hell makes me think I can do it in paintball? But we had the best time ever. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's
That is
awesome.
amazing. I need to know where you went because I live in New Jersey too.
Okay, yes, I will
She's
tell you. I will
she's
tell
a
you.
she's
Maybe
a
we'll go together.
Do you know?
oh
Okay, I'm gonna. This should. If you know it, you'll know this. You know where Mighty Joe Young's is?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Is
then we'll
that
talk.
South Jersey or
It is
Central?
south.
Okay, yeah, I'm Central,
Okay.
and I'm from the North. I'm not familiar with the South.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I mean,
I
I'm right next door to the Turnpike. Easy peasy.
I loved hearing your successes only because my health journey is completely opposite. I started out underweight, string bean, completely unhealthy, but couldn't do anything about it. And then one day it swapped the other direction and I can't go back. So I'm remembering what it was like to fit in an airplane, what it was like to be able to ride those rides and buckle seatbelts. I want to get back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I am like so happy that you can do that.
Yeah. And it's funny because my therapist, I think he thought that I was a bit of a nut job. Because he asked me what weight I wanted to be, and I said, I don't know. I want to fit in an airplane and I want to fit on a roller coaster. Like, what you tell me what weight that is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I also think that that's an important thing when you're thinking of your mindset, right? It's not about a number. Your number can be anything that it wants to be on the scale, and it's going to vary from day to day. It's going to vary depending on what time of day you take it, what clothes you're wearing, what you ate, when the last time you pooped was. Like the number on the scale is going to be different, right?
Exactly.
But what are you trying to obtain? Are you trying to fit into a specific size clothing? Because again, we're going to get there when we talk about shopping on the challenges page. But are you? What are you trying to accomplish? Do you want to fit into a church pew? Do you want to fit into a wedding dress? What is your ultimate goal? It doesn't necessarily have to be the number on the scale, and that's just it from my perspective, from my opinion. The number on the scale is useless. It does me no good.
And you know what's funny about that? So we talk about like as streamers, that some people get so hung up on their numbers, like how many people came to their streams. And sometimes it's like, stop looking at the numbers.
Right.
It's
Yes.
not always about the numbers. Like, are you enjoying what you're putting out there? Are you having fun? Are you making connections with people? Don't worry about the number. Everything else will come sooner or later. But just, if you're enjoying it, then that's what matters the most. As soon as I think you start looking at streaming as a job, it kind of loses its luster a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But the same thing with the number. I think what you're saying is, it's too easy to beat yourself up if you have that number in mind, right? Because then if you don't make that number in a time frame that you deem is appropriate, then you're going to feel like you failed, and that
Right.
undermines the whole process.
Absolutely.
I'm going to stop sharing the screen for just a second, you guys.
Okay, no, that's fine. I have another close friend of mine who is also going through the weight loss journey, and so she watched me. She was she was there for me when I was heavy, and she watched me go through my weight loss journey, and she decided that she was going to do it. I am a very uh, we'll say hard-headed. I think that's probably the best way to say it. So when I put my mind to something, I go balls to the walls. And I don't think that she really understood how very, very hard you have to work after the surgery in order to obtain your results. And it's not something that happens in 3 days, right? You didn't weigh 338 pounds in 3 days. It took you
Nope.
30 years to get that far. So if it takes you 3 years to get that off, um, embrace that, right? You're
Yeah.
shedding experience, and you're shedding old habits and bad juju, and
I love that bad
embellish
juju.
that.
Yep.
And so I'm really helping her. She's struggling. She keeps stepping on the scale, and she does it 2 or 3
Wow.
times a day. And I'm telling her, like, that your therapist didn't quite talk to you through this, because it's not about the number on the scale. Like, you've dropped 4 pant sizes. Like, that should mean something to you. Just because the number on the scale isn't necessarily different doesn't mean that you're not bettering yourself. And trying to get somebody over that hump of, I'm concerned about my numbers, is it's murderous. It kills all of your momentum.
Absolutely. Like, even because like your body may be changing shape too. Like, you may be
Mhm.
losing inches, right? And
Yes.
then you could also be gaining muscle weight, which also is heavier than fat. So, I mean, it really just depends on an individual's overall experience, right? So, yeah, I like that. Yeah, numbers will kill your mojo. And yeah.
100%.
All right, sorry, I know we have to get to Jay, so I want to let's keep moving. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, you're good. I'm interacting with the chat. Y'all keep doing y'all thing.
Yeah,
All right.
I can't interact with the chat. It's not on my thing yet, but we're working it out. So
Okay.
just calling out Big J. Thank you for calling out to Venturis, Lady Camisid, Radical Peaches. Who else we got in there? I'm apologizing if I missed anybody, but thank you all for showing up to this very important conversation. It's one of those things we just need to be open and honest about, just like mental health. And, everybody's struggle with weight is different. Everybody's relationship with food is different. So it's very nice to have you here, Chunky Pup, sharing your journey with us so that we can all kind of learn a little bit and maybe examine our own practices.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here. And I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not in the chat because the stream is like back a few seconds, and so I'm trying to stay with the presentation. So I'm on a different platform than the stream. So I'm not ignoring anybody in chat. I promise I'll get in there if y'all have questions.
Yeah, we see you, chat. We see you.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the struggles that we have, or that I have rather, is portion control, right? Again, my stomach is smaller than the size of a banana. So when there's a place like Harold's, which is in Edison, New Jersey, and they serve sandwiches like the one on the top left there, that's a pastrami and corned beef sandwich, and I want that in my
Whoa.
face immediately.
Me too.
But and that's only that's a half of a small sandwich. So when the portions come
insane.
out like that, and you have the stomach the size of a smaller than a banana, it's very difficult to try to figure out your portion sizes, right? And they will tell you that if you continue to eat at the same capacity that you were eating prior to surgery, you're just going to stretch your stomach back out. Now you've done all of this for nothing, and I think that that's definitely uh, one of my biggest fears, is that I've gone through all of this for nothing. I still struggle a lot with nausea. When they cut my stomach, they cut out your hunger gland. So especially right in the beginning, right after I first had surgery, I had a really hard time distinguishing between when I was hungry and when I was full because the feeling was the same. I was just nauseous and wanted to vomit. And I still struggle with that. I don't know if I
Oh.
don't feel well because I'm hungry or if I don't feel well because I ate too much.
Mm.
Jinkies, you okay?
Tibby.
She has a bad habit of turning off my computer when she jumps on it.
Oh no.
That Tibby.
She just ran out of the room afraid, so I got her attention.
Get it. Get it.
So now, do you take anything for the nausea, or can you, or you can't, or like, does anything help that?
You can. I actually found out that the thing that helps me the most, it's disgusting. I'm sorry if this triggers anybody. I take a shot of pickle juice. I keep pickles in my refrigerator all of the time. And to curb my nausea, I take a shot of pickle juice and it helps it immediately.
I wonder why that helps.
I think it's something with the sodium and the electrolytes in it. It's great for hangovers too.
So I've been told.
Hmm.
I don't know that I could ever do that, but more power to you.
So when you're thinking about portion control, that leads very quickly into the uncomfortable conversations. So I go to this restaurant that serves this enormous hippopotamus-sized sandwich, and I eat 3 bites, and then I'm like, I'm done. Like there's no more space. I can't do anymore. And the waitress comes over the table and she kind of looks at you and she's like, "Well, what's wrong with the food?" Well, nothing's wrong with the food. Well, why aren't you eating? And then you have the choice of, do I want to explain my whole scenario to this waitress who probably doesn't give a shit? Or do I just want to be like, I wasn't hungry when I came in here. It's tasty. I'll eat it later. Like, how do you want to have that conversation?
Just so we don't miss it. So Lady Camisad asked what your relationship is with spicy food.
Interesting.
That is a very interesting question. And I loved spicy food prior to surgery. And I love spicy food post surgery. The one thing that I do have problems with after surgery that I didn't before surgery is greasy food. But that's definitely something that's different for every person.
Right.
I know somebody else who went through the same surgery, and now if she touches even just the smallest amount of sugar, she's instantly sick, which is very
Ooh.
difficult for her because she loves
Wow.
alcohol, and alcohol has a ton of sugar in it. So
Yeah.
she's walking a fine line there, right? So
Right.
spicy food doesn't bother me. Sugary food doesn't bother me. Carbs get to me a little bit. I have to be very careful with my breads and my pastas and rice and such. But definitely greasy foods, I have to be very careful with the amount of grease that I take in. Otherwise, I am not a happy camper for a couple of hours.
Okay.
So you're having these uncomfortable conversations with waitresses or whatever at your favorite restaurants, but you go over to your friend's house for a birthday party and they spent 2 days cooking all of this fantastic Italian food because their last name is Gotti, and you eat 4 bites, right? And they're like, "Well, why aren't you eating my food?" And it's like, "Well, I just don't have a stomach, man. I tried. Like, give me take home containers and I'll eat it all night. Like, I still have second and third dinner coming. We'll get there." So it's very uncomfortable to have those conversations with people who don't know A, that you have limitations, or B, don't really care to acknowledge your limitations. And I love me some Italian mamas. I know a lot of Italian mamas, but their sole purpose in life is to feed you. And so when you go over to an Italian mama's house and you don't eat, like it's a very uncomfortable scenario. And so those are uncomfortable conversations to have with people that are strangers and people that and you don't want to offend anybody, and there's no reason to offend anybody. It's just, do you want to explain your whole journey to them, or do you just want to? Sometimes, most of the time, I wish that they would just take it, "Oh no, the food's great. Thank you very much," and just leave it alone. The third struggle is body image. So I see that picture of me in the bottom right. Holy cow, there's a lot of face going on there. Looking at my before and after pictures while I was putting this together today, and good God, what a chonker, right?
You're
And
super cute.
well, thank you. I see the difference in the before and after photos. I see the difference when I catch a glimpse of myself in the building as I walk by. Like I see the difference. But when when everybody else is gone and all of the clothes are off and you're getting ready to bend over to shave your legs in the shower, everything just kind of hangs, right? Everything was so stretched out for so many years. There is a ton of extra skin that's still there. And it doesn't look to me any differently than when I was heavy because it still folds in all the same places. It still protrudes in all the same places. I still see it, and I don't see any difference when I look down at my naked body post or pre surgery to post surgery. And that's a very difficult pill for me to swallow on a daily basis. My body image is very distorted, and I have a very hard time with just comprehending the fact that I am no longer 338 pounds, um, and understanding that there is well over half of me that's missing. And there's certain pieces of my body that I'm very self-conscious about, especially pieces that are normal to be shown. So for instance, right now I'm in a long sleeve t-shirt or a long sleeve sweatshirt, right? A, because I'm freezing, but B, because I have just this huge amount of skin um, that just kind of hangs out right here, and it's gross, and I don't like it, and I'm very self-conscious about it. And same thing with my legs. So that body image thing is very difficult. And I was talking to my brother earlier today when I told him that I was preparing for this podcast tonight, and he was like, "Well, like, what did you expect was going to happen?" And I said, "Well, I wanted to go get my belly button pierced. Like, I still can't find it, you know." And
Mhm.
it was the thought that I had that getting skinny meant I was going to look like a model, like a Barbie, whatever your normal image of a skinny person is, and I don't fit that mold still. And that could be disheartening for a lot of people, which leads right into shopping. So now that I am a much smaller body, um, it is easier for me to find clothes in my size as long as my size is the same from store to store, which it's definitely not. You can get a size 12 at this store, which fits like a size 16 from this store. And that's a struggle anywhere, right? But you go to find, if I wanted a cute summertime dress, they're all like strap or not strapless, but sleeveless. And I don't like to show my arms. And so it's still a struggle to shop, even as a smaller body. It's still a struggle for me to go shopping and find things that I find attractive on my body type. And so shopping has become easier, but it's also still very difficult. The nausea we already talked about. It's a struggle to remain more active. So my husband, there's a football chunky that exists. Corsets and Spanx do help. Yes, absolutely right. But I don't. There isn't one for your arms, right? There isn't one for like your thighs, like all of the cute places that you want to show off in the summertime. There isn't anything to put on there. So, yeah. Um, but there's a football chunky, and Big J's met football chunky. Uh, but I don't let her come out very often. But my husband knows very well about football chunky, and in order to keep us, he also had the surgery, by the way, just so everybody here knows. But in order to keep us both more active and remain moving and doing things, um, my husband bought us season tickets to the Philadelphia Eagles. I am a Denver Broncos fan, born and raised in Denver, die hard, will always be a Denver Broncos fan. Half of my game room is completely dedicated to the Denver Broncos. However, football is football, right? So, in the event that I have the opportunity to go and see live games at a stadium with the crowd, feeling what it is, I'm going to go 100% of the time. So, those are our seats at Lincoln Financial Center. We've had them now for 2 years. It's quite a jaunt to get up there, and I'm okay with it because it makes us continuously move. And tailgating is freaking phenomenal out here, so there's that. The self-awareness, I said it was a success, and it is, but then it's also a struggle at the same time because you have to remain aware that you're seeing yourself maybe not in the way that everybody else sees you. When I was at my heaviest, I never saw myself as big as I was. And now that I am much smaller, I don't see myself as small as I am. And trying to remain that or retain that self awareness and really understand that has been a struggle a lot more often than I'd like to admit. Making healthy choices. So again, it's so much easier and quicker and cheaper to run into the gas station, pick up a 32-ounce Coke and a packet of chocolate donuts than it is to make a omelet or, whatever it is. Making those healthy choices to stay on the path that I'm on and maintain a healthy weight and feel as good as I feel is more important than being able to get that cheap and quick meal. Um, so there are always cheats, right? I will always cheat on a day I'll have pizza or whatever, but 98% of the time, I make those healthy choices. I snack healthy, I eat healthy, and I try to get my protein in first. And which is why my wedding cake, which is the bottom left photo there, I only got one bite out of it because I had to make those healthy choices and eat the protein. Last thing there is staying humble, right? So remembering where I was and where I don't want to go, which is that last photo on the bottom right there. This is where I was. I don't ever want to be that girl again. I don't ever want to be that uncomfortable with myself and my surroundings ever again. And so that's why I share my journey with all of you. My brother had gastric bypass back in 2008, and it nearly killed him. And I vowed I would never do this. The surgeon left a staple inside of him during the surgery, and he was so malnutritioned by the time that they found it that he almost died. Then my fiance at the time told me that he was going to have the surgery. Nope, he was my boyfriend at the time, excuse me. He told me that he was going to have the surgery. And so I flew 3,000 miles to be with him for a week while he had the surgery. And his went swimmingly. There was no problems. There was no anything. And so I decided, you know what? It's been 10 years since my brother had his. Things have gone a long way. I need to get myself healthy for this man who's doing the same for me. I need to get myself healthy for myself. I need to get myself healthy for my son, who was very small at the time. And so I made the leap, and here I am, and I will tell everybody my story. And if you ever have anybody, if you have questions, comments, if you want advice, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am on Twitch. I'm on Discord. I'm in the Too Lit Discord channel. I'm usually in most everybody's chats. If I'm not very active, at me, and I'll probably jump in. But please, if I can help anybody make a decision or guide them from what I've been through, I'm happy to do so.
I like that. I like that.
That's me.
I'll probably be hitting you up later because, like I said, I've been debating the surgery and they stopped providing me my shot that helped me lose weight. So,
yeah.
Well, that was a very brave story to tell. I mean, there's so much packaged up in that presentation, just from your emotionals and, kind of admitting where you were failing and going into the history. Yeah, I mean, the evolution is amazing. And then to be able to tell, how you still have, even though you've lost the weight, having these body image struggles that still persist. Yeah, it's a very dynamic and very important story to tell. So thank you.
Absolutely.
That was amazing. That was an amazing story.
It really
I definitely will be talking to you more about that, and I'm very proud of your journey.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, I like to give a little insight on my story when I was little till now. So, when I was younger, I was a small, handsome-looking guy. I was bad at, of course. Yeah, we could show it, right? There we go. Look, a little J right there.
Oh my
God. You can look at that,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that's a baby J, little J, as you guys know.
I can't take it in my heart.
I was a small guy. I was very active, always, playing sports, playing with my friends, being on top of roofs. I am a Navy brat, by the way, so our housing that we would stay in, I would usually climb the wall and be on top of that and just on the roof, just being a boy. And I just recall one summer I stayed home and didn't go outside, and I would play video games and just kind of got introduced to the cabinet of snacks. And it's like I didn't look back. I started getting a little bit bigger. Um, People started picking at me from time to time. Just being bullied and stuff. Uh, I couldn't tolerate it. My sister, she used to defend me. Um, and I really thank her for that. She definitely helped uh, make me a better person because um I don't tolerate bullying and I stand up for those that can't, you know, defend themselves. So I feel like I am a protector. I appreciate a lot of people. And for those that can't have that voice, I would be that voice for them or help them get that voice. So as I got older, I've always gained a lot of weight or lost a lot of weight. In school, playing football a lot. So that would kind of help me with my weight. After school was when I gained a lot of weight. And depression, it is a thing. It definitely can make you lose or gain a lot of weight. And I gained so much weight. Depression, in and out of relationships, definitely would help with the extra weight. I've gained so much weight, it was getting to where I had no choice but to look for the surgery. I also got the gastric sleeve surgery, and it was tough. I had lost a lot of weight doing it, but due to depression, I gained it all back and then some. So it's definitely a thing. If you guys could show the picture of what I was then and now, you can clearly see that there's a big difference. Like
Oh yeah.
I let's just say I was best friends with soda, junk food, everything you can name. Like it didn't matter. Like I would eat throughout the nights, and it was tough. Going from 1x all the way to about a 5x, maybe a 6. It was a struggle. Um, it was getting to the point where my friends were like telling me, hey, let's go to the park, or and my energy, I was always so sleepy. Like I had no energy to do anything, and I just, I told myself if I didn't do it now, I might not ever be able to make it. I might not see the next day. So I encouraged myself. I kind of ventured out, talked to people that kind of did a lot of weight loss journeys, people that were successful, and people that's still struggling to make it. And I just told myself this year, enough's enough. I'm 35. I'm about to be 36, and I really wanted to dedicate my life to being a healthier Jay. So I've been drinking a lot of water, and they'll tell you make best friends with water, and you'll lose a lot of weight. I've been doing that. I've been drinking a lot of water. I don't eat massive like I used to. I eat smaller portions. I just go to the gym. I just do everything that I can to just keep myself active and just going. But I really thank the community for keeping me motivated, because without you guys motivating me and pushing me, I don't think I would have this halfway. I wouldn't be where I'm at. So I thank you all. And I'm not done. This is just the beginning. I've looked at my VODs from the past and I'm just like, man, I really was like that. Like nobody told me anything. Like shame on y'all. No, but I see myself now and I'm just like, never again. Never again. I look at a lot of my pictures and I'm just like, I keep myself motivated to keep pushing. So I thank y'all all for inspiring me and motivating me to go to the gym, because you guys know when I'm done streaming, I'm like, it's time to go. Some days I don't want to go. Y'all be like, hey, go to the gym, get it over with, and let's go. Yes, ma'am.
So I know, this is part of chiming back to our mental health podcast, right? So one of the things we've highlighted was your support network. So Jay, I know you have a big support network. Chunky, I'm just curious to know, when you were going through all of this, did you have a supportive network of people around you? Like, did you feel that kind of energy, or were people kind of like, you're not going to do it? Like, what was going on around you in terms of like the support that you had?
Um, that's a great question. Nobody in my immediate family, like my parents, nor my brother, wanted me to go forth with the surgery because of the complete disaster that my brother's surgery was. And so they were obviously very scared, and they didn't want to see me do it. And they weren't super supportive. They were supportive of me for making a decision, but they weren't supportive of the decision, if that makes sense. Um, However, I felt like I had something to prove, and I've kind of always been that way my whole life, and it's probably not healthy in any way, shape, or form. But I felt like I had something to prove. My brother did it. My now husband did it. There was a couple of people at work that were talking about doing it, and I was just like, I can do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be successful at it, and I'm going to prove everybody wrong. And that's what I did. And I've really prided myself um, on rising above situations that are controversial and being better for it. And I feel like this was very controversial in my immediate support group of people, such as my parents and my brother, who I lean on very heavily for their opinions. We are a very close family. Um, but I had to prove to myself that I was capable and that I was strong enough and that I had the desire to do this for so many reasons other than because I want to fit on a plane or in a roller coaster. So I didn't have a huge support group, but I have felt for a very large portion of my adult life that I have to be my own biggest cheerleader. And I that's how I moved forward.
So me, honestly, I never had a supporting cast. I never had anybody that really supported me. Like, like you would have like your family and be like, they'll give you like the we believe in you, you can do it. But as far as pushing, I never had anybody to push me. So it would always be one of those things where like I would lose weight and people was, they would like be like, oh, okay, you're doing good, keep it up. But never like, hey, like really pushing me to do it. Like, hey, you went to the gym today, or what you eating, or like what's your intake, and like stuff like that. So I mean, like I never really had that till now. When this community, like when I said I was going to get back on this journey, and like just seeing the support from everybody in the Tulip community, seeing the support from everybody outside of the community, all my friends that I've known from Mixer, all my friends that I know here from Twitch, people that I've met from all different platforms, the support is just, it's amazing. Like seeing the compliments, seeing everybody just telling me to keep pushing, like it means so much to me. It inspires me so much. So like all that energy that I'm getting from you guys, it means so much. It drives me to keep pushing and to never give up, because I don't want to be what I used to be, and that's over 400 pounds, and I don't want to see a coffin no time soon.
Mm-hmm.
So just curious. So Jay, when you say your support, I mean, your family was or wasn't supportive?
They were, but what I was trying to say is they weren't like pushing me, like how
Okay.
there's a difference between like showing support and actually pushing you.
Right. Okay. I just needed to clarify. So do you feel like you get most of that externally from your family then, like from your two lit supports and
Yes.
from the woman who I believe is kind of pushing you a little bit more now, your trainer?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Like she's on your case. She's like, nope. And I think that that's really great. Like I think if for folks interested in going down this path, like if you can find like a workout buddy or somebody who's going to be like your accountability officer, right? Like I've done that with friends where I've said, hey, can you just ride my ass about this, or come to the gym with me, or like let's try and get on like a same schedule, so that now it's not just you, right? It's about the team, and that absolutely can make a difference in terms of your motivation for getting out the door and saying, okay, well, I know I have a standing appointment every Monday, Wednesday, Friday to meet so and so at the gym. You're less likely to not go, right? Like you're more likely to go now that you know that there's somebody there who's going to be like helping to push you. And yeah, so I think that's one thing. And yeah, if you have a thyroid issue, Jinkies, yeah, I mean, like again, you know, that's really tough. I mean, any of the medical conditions that were being thrown up, I saw Cushing's, blah, 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 blah. What were the other ones?
PCOS.
PCOS, yeah, PCOS. Again, all those things, you know, again, if you're not getting the answers you need from your doctor, change doctors. Sometimes you need to go to somebody who's more of a specialist, and keep trying, because there should always be, not necessarily that everybody's going to have an answer, but there should always be options, right? Different things you can try. And like I said, with a strong support system and a very healthy, strong relationship with a medical provider who understands your condition, can really change the game for a lot of people. Because I know some people who just, they go to a general practitioner who's not a specialist in, say, things like PCOS or thyroid conditions. And, you know, that's not doing you any favors. Like they'll just say, okay, well, here's the most common drug. Well, the most common drug might not be for you. And it would take a specialist to kind of look and dig a little deeper into your condition to see what else might be going on. Yeah, it is a struggle. And, you know, I think y'all are just so inspirational for bringing this forward. Jinkies, was there anything else you wanted to share about your journey?
Like I said, my journey kind of is backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up being a string bean. I was eating healthy. I snacked, but it just ran right through me. I had the highest metabolism in the entire world. I was blessed. And I think what happened was my thyroid started acting up right after I did. This is going to be slightly awkward, but I'm just going to say it. We're all adults here. I did a IUD birth control. Right after that, my thyroid got messed up because of hormones.
Yeah.
And I started packing on weight. I would show you pictures of before and after, but I don't like looking back at how small I was. I'm not ready to yet. So I'm working on that. But I did find a specialist who was able to find the thyroid issue. But I lost.
That's great.
The downside is
right.
I lost the insurance that they covered, so I had to stop seeing her. I found a new primary care doctor who did tests, and she says my thyroid is normal, but I know it's not.
Yeah.
And I can't find a specialist who takes my insurance.
Can you get your new doctor to talk to your old doctor about what she saw versus what the new one sees?
I might be able to get the records to her. I see my current doctor again. I do my yearly physical in August. So it's around the corner. But when August comes, I'm also going to bring up the possibility of weight loss surgery. I'm not morbidly obese. I am being very careful watching what I eat. As you guys have heard, that I do. I usually am pretty good. I eat a healthy protein vegetable diet. I use a delivery service called MyMD or My Bistro MD, which is doctor certified, nutritionist certified food meals, and that has helped. I used to be on a drug called Wegovy, which is new in the world of weight loss. But for some reason, it was stopped being delivered to my pharmacy, and I can no longer get my hands on it. My weight loss journey is a struggle.
Yeah.
But I will get there.
Yeah,
But I
see,
have lost about 30 pounds in the last year.
so that's
Good for
good.
you.
So
That's
yeah,
that's
definitely
great.
making progress.
You
Mhm.
are.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm 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 heavier than I've ever been in my entire life. Now, mind you, this is coming from somebody who was also a beanpole. You know, I'm tall, very well. I used to be very willowy. You know, people called me names like broomstick and beanpole and things like that.
I remember those. I remember those
Hmm.
names.
But then, you know, like after children, a bad marriage, you know, just general malaise and depression and anxiety, food was a comfort. And then I started getting healthy and I was doing well. I'd lost a lot of weight. I think I'd gotten down to about 145, which actually looked a little off on my body, given my height, my size. It just kind of looked a little too thin. And so then I kind of got lazy, right? Thinking that didn't look right either. And I don't know. I feel like I've just never been comfortable in my own skin. So I can relate to that body positive, you know, that lack of feeling like I'm good enough because it's like, okay, on the one side, you know, either you're too skinny or no, now you're too heavy. And it's like, where do you feel that comfort? And like we said before, it's not necessarily going to be a fixed number. It's just going to be a point at which you're like, okay, whatever that number is right now, I'm okay with this. My clothes are comfortable. I'm comfortable. I can walk up a flight of stairs and not, you know, have to be catching my breath. I
Yes.
can do certain activities that no longer impede me or feel like I'm struggling to get them done. Um, so I think that would be kind of a message I would want to push out to everyone to say, you know, don't get hung up on the numbers and really think about finding a way to be comfortable at that body size that you're at. Because, right, we all know that just because you're a little heavier doesn't mean you're overweight and it doesn't mean that you're unhealthy. It just means that that is where you're comfortable for you. The other thing I wanted to mention real quick is I read an article that was talking about the difference between weight loss versus fat loss. So what they were saying in the article was that, you know, when you talk about weight loss is not just fat. It's what was it? It was like fat. It was visceral fat, you know, which is the fat that's underneath the skin, as well as water, as well as muscle. So it's kind of like you also have to understand what your weight reduction really is.
Mhm.
You know, if you're just exercising and dieting, you know, you may be losing weight, but what is your ultimate goal? Is it to lose weight? Is it to lose body fat? Where for me, I'd really like to lose probably both. I mean, obviously, if you lose fat, you're still losing weight. But I think overall, I think if you can lose the visceral fat, that makes the most impact, right? Because you want to maintain those fluids and electrolytes in your body. You don't want to get dehydrated. And if you're just losing water weight, as we all know, you know, we can go through as women have those days where we're carrying extra water and then go the other direction. So I think it's too, you know, being able to work with a professional to help you kind of figure out what your goals should be and ones that make sense, both given your medical history, your family history, and your mental outlook. Which I think that that's great. That, you know, obviously for surgery they required you to get that that mental wellness check to kind of check in and say, you know, it's not just for you. It's not just about losing weight. It's about redefining your relationship with food and taking a deep, long, hard look at why and how you got here and knowing whether or not you're a good candidate because you are able to make those sustained changes. Um, yeah, it's such a great conversation to have and really just kind of put that information out there and have everybody really kind of take that deep dive into what it takes to lose weight and do it in a way that's healthy, that also is reflective and bolstering and supporting your mental health as well, right? Because we said, you know, if you're not making those numbers on the scale, now you're undermining your whole success about it and how
Right.
you feel about the whole process.
Right.
Absolutely. And I think for anybody who um, is looking to lose weight, whether you're looking to go the surgery route, whether you're looking to grind at it, whatever route you're looking to lose weight, understand the plethora of different tools that are out there available. So, you know, I see everybody in chat talking about different prescription drugs and so on and so forth. There's different surgeries, right? There's the lap band, which from the last that I heard is not doing great, and then there's some
Mm-mm.
balloon that they can now put in your stomach that will force
Yeah.
you to have smaller portions, and then there's the gastric sleeve, there's the gastric bypass, the there's so many different surgeries. there's there's so many different avenues that you can go to lose weight. The outcome is going to be the same if you can't be honest with yourself. If you can't write a journal that is honestly what you're putting in your mouth. I don't care if it's 3 M&Ms, you better put that in that journal. If you ate an extra cough drop just because you wanted a little bit of that sucrose in your mouth, you need to write that in your journal. If you're not prepared to be 100% honest with yourself about the things that you're eating, why you're eating them, if you're not prepared to be 100% honest with the therapist or the person that you have to talk to prior to having surgery, it's not about saying the right things that will allow them to have them sign off for you to have the surgery. It's being honest about what your outcome is, because if you're doing this for the vanity, if you're doing this to hit a specific number on this scale, I I'm very afraid that you're going to be disappointed, and I really really just hope that you can be honest with yourself above anything else. And I feel like that's definitely the key to my success, was when I was finally able to be 100% completely honest with myself.
Agree.
Mhm.
You got to be prepared to step into the light and say, all right, I'm just gonna, you know, unveil the demons, unveil all the ugly, all the good, the bad, the evil, and just be honest about my weaknesses and what you're trying to
Yep.
get under control, right? Because if you're not getting the mental aspect under control, how do you expect to make those lasting changes? Because
Right.
then you're not changing the relationship with food.
Right. I agree with that. So, honest with myself, I know when I got the gastric sleeve, I know I did not properly do everything that I was supposed to do, which was have a journal or some kind of diary or just taking notes. I didn't do any of that, so me being depressed a lot definitely helped me gain all that weight back. But I can tell you, like Chunky said, the key to it is to take note and just keep track of what you're eating. It definitely is a factor of your intake. You'll know, you know, like I said, the best thing you can do is just do your research and just talk to your doctor, or maybe if you can, trainer, any kind of resource. There's so many tools out there nowadays. Google, YouTube, friends that are in shape, that work out, and like there's just so many different options out there that you can seek if you really want to uh, become a healthier person, should I say. Um, I know the person I talked to, which by the way, thank you, Radical, Miss Flex. She has told me about an app which actually helps out with that kind of stuff, what your intake is, and it'll ask for all your information and stuff, like far as like your weight, your height, and just like it shows you like how much you should take, far as like your here, I'll click on it. It's called My Fitness Pal.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of
Um,
that one.
It's a
yeah,
good one.
so you can put all your information in there. They have a diary in there. You can put in what you had for breakfast, what you had for lunch, dinner, your snacks, the exercise, how much your water intake is, and it'll show you like how much your goal is for like how much you want to try to hit or try not to over hit. So my thing is it says uh so yeah, so I'm getting better at this because I was never one to really put my notes in, but I try to if I don't forget. Like you guys know, we us older folks, we be forgetful. So I try to I try to
Well,
tell myself, I try to put my stuff in every time I eat, but then I forget. But yeah, I know Miss Flex, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but I'm getting better at it. I promise. I promise,
see,
Miss
I
Flex.
used to be really good. I use Fitbit. I I have my watch, I have the app on my phone, and when I started my whole weight loss journey last year, for about 4 months, I constantly plugged in all of my data. One day I just stopped and now I can't do it again. I need to get back into that habit. So if I do want to do this weight loss surgery, I already have the tracking just so I can show the doctors that I know what's going on
Yeah.
Right.
and can go from there. Because I already see a doctor for my mental health. I'm sure I could probably talk to him about stuff. And it's just the next step because I don't know if I can get back on Wegovy.
And just so you know, I normally wear it. I took it off for my X-ray. I just forgot to
I
put it
have
Oh,
back
that's
on.
right.
I have
Didn't we
mine
become
on.
friends on Fitbit? And I haven't been doing anything with it. We gotta help. You gotta help me be accountable. Come on, Shiny.
All right, we got to come up with an accountability plan.
Yes,
Oh,
we're gonna work together. We're gonna go like share our
I'm gonna
progress
my
on
notes.
Fitbit.
so Chunky Pup, you said you have my Fitness Pal.
I do. I use Fitbit and I have MyFitnessPal. I do them both.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to get with you on
Yep.
that and add you because I know Miss Flex, she added me right away, and I know I'm supposed to be hitting her up soon to get my next week's plan. So I'm really excited about that. I've been killing it in this gym, and like I know today was leg day, and man, I was selling jinkies while I was in her stream. My legs were starting to feel like noodles. Like I had to hurry up and come home, man. I knew I had to still do this, and I was really excited. So, man,
I'd also just like to ask anybody in chat who has a Fitbit, let us know in the DMs in our Discord so that we can kind of maybe expand our little group a little bit. Same thing with the MyFitnessPal app. So anybody who's got the MyFitness app, let's start and get these people together. Let's hold everybody accountable.
We'll put it
Obviously,
in
I know.
the health section.
Yeah,
which
let's do
which
that. Let's
which
do
by
that.
the way,
Too lit,
if
too
you
fit.
guys Too Lit Too Fit, that is the category right under Too Lit Sports. They have a Sunday check-in. They have a health fitness goals, workout tips, progress pictures, healthy receipts, and food. And then there's the workout room. So let me tell you guys a little bit about the workout room. So I
We need
used to go to the gym and I would have people come in there and we would all work out together. I would get on the treadmill and they would do their exercises and we would hold each other accountable for it. And we would go in there and we would sweat it out.
All right. So, yeah, let's get it going, people. I mean, we can hold each other accountable. We can talk about the stuff we're eating. Tips and tricks. I'll throw out one. I use a muffin tin to create mini omelets, like souffles. Like I'll mix together. I have a Texas size muffin tin. And then I just kind of do one side is say like tomato and spinach. The other side is say something else and something else. But, again, so that it's like that quick hit so that you don't have to worry about eating garbage. It's like, okay, you've got your protein for breakfast and it's pretty filling. So, yeah, I'll stream it. I'll stream cooking that shit right up and we'll just start inspiring people with cooking stuff. I'll even throw in a cooking sesh on how I make my roasted vegetables chunky so that you can see how I whip those parsnips into place.
Hey,
It's funny that you say that because I was thinking recently about I recently learned that I know how to cook, right? I didn't know that I knew how to do this. And everybody in my family is like, I don't know why you haven't been doing this all along. Like you're a really good cook. So I thought, you know what? One of these days when I bust out one of my big ass meals, I'm gonna stream it like from start to finish. And It's funny that you said that because I also use HelloFresh. I don't know if anybody else uses HelloFresh in here, but
We
it is
used
like a
to.
freaking lifesaver. I love that company. Um,
That's a look
again,
into that.
can I please get a sponsorship? I have a free box. If you want a free box, Shiny, just
You
let
know,
me know.
I know somebody who has a sponsorship with HelloFresh. You might be able to go talk to her and see how she got it.
Hmm.
Mm.
Okay. All
Ooh,
right.
yeah.
So you out here being the connect. Okay, Jinkies. Go
I
Jinkies.
Yeah.
yeah. I
It's
just
one of my favorite Black Desert streamers, and she sent me a free box, but I'm like, I use a different program.
yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, I can't do it because of the weight loss program I'm on. It counteracts.
See,
Yeah.
we could start a whole new stream for HelloFresh and start showing what they send out. We can do taste tests, like where we both get the same box, we cook the same thing, and we'll go live and say, okay, here's what we got. We're gonna have a little taste test, talk about what we like, what we don't like, how easy it was.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. But I also they send you the recipes, right? And so I thought we need to have like a food channel where we can just go in and post recipes. So if I'm at some sort of a brain dead moment, I can't figure out anything new and fun to cook for dinner. I can go and look what Shiny had last Tuesday, and I'll be like, I'm cooking that, right? And so I feel like that's also a great way that we can exchange healthy recipes. If you, I use a lot of extra virgin olive oil in place of things like butter or margarine or something like that, right? Because I don't like all of the grease and the heaviness. And so learning how to make those substitutions and properly cooking meals that are more healthy, I think it would be fantastic for us to have something like that. Also, I know on Fitbit, you can set up like challenges and stuff. So
Hmm.
we can go in there and we can like see who has the most steps for a week or whatever baloney that is. And I would totally be down for that because again, this girl is competitive. So
I
let's
think
get
we
down
should
on some of
totally
that.
do that. And once again, with Fitbit, I'm going to reiterate, it is a free app. If you don't have a Fitbit, you can still use it. Use your phone step tracker. Wear your phone on your arm, on your hip. Go for a walk. Fitbit will track it. You don't have to have the Fitbit. So it's a really nice program. But also, I know what was it? My Pal, my Sports Pal. What was it called?
My
My fitness
Fitness
pal.
Pal.
My Fitness Pal. I use that a little bit. I'm sure it works the same way.
It
But
does. It's free.
yes, like I said, so is Fitbit. The Fitbit itself isn't free, but the application is.
Yep.
That's
And
like Samsung. Samsung has their fitness app as well.
yeah,
Mhm,
So there's different options, guys. So keep that in mind.
yeah.
mhm.
I
But
think my fitness pal also has competition stuff in there too, if I remember right.
Hmm.
I don't want none.
but
Oh,
yeah,
Rain says know of a website that you can create an online cookbook for free. Well, Rain, how about you just tell us what it is?
Yeah, don't
I
don't
said
don't
share.
Oh, yeah.
don't be a
Do
mystery with
tell.
it.
Do
Don't be
tell. Do
don't be
tell.
don't be a ninja. I mean, honestly, everybody that's in Discord, we do have the too lit to fit category. So if you guys
Mm-hmm.
would feel free to put some of y'all stuff in there. Like we would like to see what you guys uh feel and if you guys want to enter this journey with us because
Samsung
I
Health.
mean we have people that
Absolutely.
are interested and we have people that might be afraid. Don't be afraid. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Because
Mm.
best believe uh I used to just quit all the time. You know, I would tell myself, hey, I got into a point to where I'm good. I don't have to worry about nothing. But, times has changed. I'm older and I feel like I have a lot of responsibilities that I gotta take care of and my health is one. I was always one to put everything above me, before me, and I think it's time that I take responsibilities and make my health a priority. So I'm going to do that and my health comes first. So
TwitchCon. TwitchCon. Hey, you know what? I'm serious. You know what? If you're going to go, you got to be prepared. You got to be in shape. Let that, talk about your goals, right? You got to have big goals and know where you want to go, what you want to do. When you start dropping that weight, the world starts to become your oyster a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I can already see the difference of everything, the compliments and everything like that. So I love it, and like I said, I'm not looking back. I'm going up.
Do you have like full body photos that you're putting together? So at the when you get to a certain point in your journey, you'll be doing a big reveal from like full body shot from day one versus full body shot to like 3, 4, 5 months from now.
I have been doing a little something, something. I can honestly say that I wasn't confident with my body. Like, I've never been confident with it, but I know that this is a project. So, me kind of just, slimming down more and more, I'm starting to build this confidence up. So, I'm willing and I'm able to do that. So,
I think this is going to be a pivot moment for you. In a couple months, when you get to a place where you are really happy, where we can put together some sort of storyboard for you, either an Instagram or TikTok, something where we can just put this on blast. I think this is going to be such a great thing for you. And
I'm
just
gonna put it
really how you're going
everywhere.
to, yeah, I mean, really just set your goal to inspire everyone around you in the big picture.
Like I
Well,
said, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, at least for me, I never saw myself as big as I was, and I don't see myself as small as I am. So seeing those before and after photos put together, I think it's going to. I think you're going to see more of a difference in yourself than you do looking in the mirror, because the changes are so gradual and small that you don't immediately see them as they're happening, and it's important to have those before and afters. And somebody told me that, and I told them they were lying, until I put together a presentation like I did today, and I was like, jeez, oh Pete, like, holy smokes. And so I definitely think that it's important that you document that journey, to Shiny's point, not only to inspire everybody around you, but to remind yourself why you're on this journey. Look at the progress you have made up until this point, because that's still something to celebrate.
Right. I totally get it. And I just like I said, in the past I really wasn't confident with like doing body shots.
Hmm.
I was always one that was really insecure with my body. Now that people are seeing it and telling me, like, whether it's in person or it's, people looking at my pictures, the side by side, you can see that
Yep.
there's a big difference that's already been made. And it's just the beginning, so I can only imagine as time goes by and more progress is made. So I'm really excited about this journey. And like I said, if anybody is wanting to join this journey with me and Chunky Pup and Shiny and Jinkies, feel free to put your stuff into the Tulip to Fit. Become one of us and join us. It's going to be nice, I promise you.
And while we were sitting there, there is an official Too Lit, Too Fit group on Fitbit, and we will get
Hey,
the information out there. So if you join Fitbit, I have a group already made.
Nice.
that is nice. Real nice.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
So I will get all of that information for the Fitbit app for those who want to use Fitbit, and we'll go from there.
And for those that don't have the Discord, I'll put the link in there again. It's not the permanent one, but y'all can join that for at least a good 7 days, and then it'll expire. So y'all have a few days before you can join it. But make sure you join that and be a part of history, because there is going to be history in the making, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm really positive about this. This is one of the most incredible experiences I've been going through, and the feeling, it don't go away. It just gets better. The power of positivity.
Definitely. Definitely. And, for anybody who may be shy or uncomfortable or doesn't want to speak up in a broader group, my DMs are open. I won't tell anybody if you choose to keep it between us. If you just have questions, even if it's, for a friend, please just DM me if you have any questions. If I can answer it, I'm happy to do so. Again, I am not a medical professional. I don't know all of the ins and outs about everybody's particular scenarios. The only thing that I can speak to is my own personal experience, but I'm happy to share, answer any questions of my journey, what I experienced, how I dealt with things, and my DMs are open. So if anybody doesn't want to share with a bigger group and would like to keep things on the down low, please feel free to reach out, as I'm definitely here.
I have a question.
Okay.
So one thing you didn't talk about was, what was your recovery like between the time you had the surgery and the time you were able to start like doing stuff? Because I've never, I don't know anybody who's had this kind of surgery, so I don't know what's involved, how invasive it is, how long you're in the hospital for. Like, is this an in and out and they just kind of send you on your way, or like what's the deal?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So that's a great question, and one that I'm really kind of salty about, and here's why. So my husband, no, I'm kidding. My husband had his surgery 1 year before I had mine. Well, like 362 days or something, right? He had his done up in New Jersey, and I had mine done in Arizona, which is where I was living at the time. And his doctor required him to have 6 weeks off of work, and he wasn't allowed to drive for 2 weeks, and he had to take blood thinner injections every day for 2 weeks after his surgery to avoid blood clots, and all of this. So I was like, all right, well, I saved up all of my vacation time so that I had all this vacation time available to me at work, because I figured I was going to have to take 6 weeks off of work. I go in and I meet my surgeon. He says, okay, I'm scheduling you for this day. I said, okay, so then that means that I have 6 weeks. And he was like, no, you have 3 days. And I was like, excuse me? He's like, no, I want you up and I want you back to your normal daily life as soon as possible. You can have 3 days off of work. That's all I'm giving you. I didn't have any blood thinning injections. I didn't have any time when I could not drive. And I had to go back to work 3 days later. So the surgeon is really the one that's going to make the call on how long you get off or you're out for. But after the second day, I didn't even take painkillers anymore. So the surgery itself, my surgery, was laparoscopic, I think is the right word. It's robots, right? So I have 5 tiny incisions. They're smaller than like I would say they're maybe like 3 centimeters long. I have 5 of them, one by my belly button, uh, one under my left breast, 2 on my right side, and then one on my left side. And they did everything laparoscopic through there. I didn't even have stitches. They glued me shut and they sent me home the next morning. So, um, again, this goes to myself being my own biggest cheerleader, right? They tell you that the faster that you get up and you walk after surgery, and the more that you walk, the faster you're going to be able to go home. So I immediately got up, as soon as I came out of anesthesia and I could comprehend. I just immediately got up and started taking laps around the hospital wing. And my husband didn't think that I was going to be up that quickly, so he was asleep while I was taking laps in the hospital wing. And I had these slippers that were big and white and furry, and they had purple toenails, so like they looked like dragon monster feet thing. And the
Oh my
nurses just
goodness.
thought that it was the funniest shit ever, because here I am with these monster feet walking around the hospital wing all by myself while my husband's been sleeping. They were
Oh
like,
my
"You're the
gosh.
best patient we've ever had, because you just don't sit down." And I was like, "I want to go home." So my experience, I was only down for 3 days. I only took painkillers for the first 2 days. After that, I didn't need them anymore. It was My experience was a breeze. The hardest part about it is the nausea that still continues for me.
All right, I'm gonna tell you my experience. All right, so my experience after the surgery, I stayed overnight. The next day, they tried to get me out of there as soon as possible. Let me just tell you, after I woke up after that surgery, they told me to stand up. I had to use the restroom. I felt nauseous. It was probably one of the worst feelings ever. Like right after surgery, having to use the restroom, but the pain getting up, sitting down, laying down. Oh my goodness, I'll never forget it. I went home that next day, and I was on pain meds for at least a good 2 days after that. Whew, whew. that pain was real.
Hmm.
But you know
Wow.
what? I will say that it doesn't compare to what's the word I'm looking for? Because I got it
Childbirth.
removed. No. Hey, I mean, you know what? Look, listen, I can't compare it to that, but I know all you ladies, I salute y'all because you know that is probably the most painful experience a person could ever deal with. But yeah, I had to get my gallbladder removed. So that was the worst experience I've ever had.
Wow.
Okay, Big J, did you have to have your gallbladder taken out before or after your weight loss surgery?
Before.
So my husband had to have his taken out after his surgery, and the person who did it, he said that it was far worse. His gallbladder surgery was far worse than his weight loss surgery, just like you said. Um, but the person who took out his gallbladder said that it's pretty typical for anybody who has weight loss surgery. They will then have to have their gallbladder removed. So I asked my surgeon who did my weight loss surgery, can you just take my gallbladder while you're there? Like, why are we waiting on doing it if it's inevitable that it's going to happen? And the surgeon was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh wow.
And I've never had, knocking on every piece of wood ever available, I've never had a problem with my gallbladder after my weight loss surgery.
Well, I just know I had issues before the weight loss surgery, and the gallstones was painful.
Hmm.
I bet.
Painful. It felt almost like somebody poking you with a knife. Like literally, it was that painful. Like when it makes a grown man tear up, you know it's painful. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. God honest truth. So painful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wowie.
But you know, we're tough. We're built for this kind of stuff, you know, so the pain it'll eventually go away. Oh, you looking like my boy, somebody I know. Mr. Rosberger, you know? Hey, for the one time you gotta kiss it for the one time. There you go. But yeah, I mean, do y'all have any questions for us, or maybe y'all have any questions for the chat? I mean, I can go about this all night, but I know some people turn into pumpkins. Not saying any names, but
That's rude. I'm just itching to play some Fortnite. That's all I'm saying.
oh yeah, I mean, I'm getting closer and closer to getting Vader. So
I should probably play some of that too, but I probably will be going to bed. I feel like a pumpkin tonight.
oh my goodness, hey, I gotta say, the Too Lit staff, man, y'all do an amazing job from the moderators to the admins. And, you know, we can't forget our lovely members as well. Everybody contributes and put that hard work in every day. The support is real, the dedication and everything you guys do is just so amazing. And we wouldn't be where we are today without each and every one of y'all. So y'all should feel really, really blessed because I love you guys and you guys mean everything to me. And without y'all, there wouldn't be a Too Lit Supports. There wouldn't be a Big J Too Lit.
I'm going to make a segue, a kind of plug in here. Because as you're talking about, we couldn't do it without our staff and everything.
Do it. Do it.
You know where I'm going with this, Shiny.
Do it.
Okay. We are actually currently looking to fill 2 new positions. They are junior editor positions, one for technical and one for graphic. If you are interested, please let me know. Hit my DMs. The information for what the requirements are in the Discord. And I am looking forward to hearing from y'all because I am looking forward for this new position to be filled. And I think they're mocking me and I love it.
No, we're making hype.
Okay, you're making hype.
I'm trying to make hype. I'm trying to, this is a fun thing. It's a
But yeah.
chance for people to give back, be involved, get involved, make impact.
You'll be helping out the community. Not only that, you'll be helping out me. That makes me smile too.
And me too.
Yeah, and
mostly
Tiny
you.
and Big J, but they're my little
Yeah.
they're my little junior editors when the time comes.
Yeah, because we all know Jay is a very requesting man. So when Jay says something, it's like, hey man, we got to get this going. But I don't apply pressure. I just be like, hey, this or let's do this or let's do that, and everybody has busy lives, so it would help everybody out. So
Yeah. So
I'll
like,
hit up Miss Jinkies.
yeah, well, actually, let me see if I can't
Bye,
pull up the
Lady
banner.
Cool
Give me a
Massage.
second. I should be able to pull up the information.
I just want to say goodnight to Lady Chemisage. She's apparently bailing on us.
All right.
Nico,
You have
Good
a
night,
great
Lady
night.
Kimside.
Good night.
Just remember, if you guys need me,
Nico,
hit the bat signal, hit the Batman signal.
Hit the
Just
bat
call it.
signal.
I do.
Nico,
Look, I even have the emote. Look, when y'all call me, just come and hit me with one of these, and I'll be there. Look, one of those right there. There we go.
The bat signal. Ta-da!
Sorry, Texas son. I'm Batman. I'm older than you.
I'm Batman. I'm Team Tobean. Me and Jinkies, we're Team Tobean.
I like it.
And I'm trying to get these up here.
Team Tobean. Team Tobean.
Did I miss something? Why is everybody saying good night? Like,
I don't know.
Because
There's
we're kind of wrapping up a little bit, but that's all right.
yeah, I can't show the thing. It's being silly. But like I said, it's in the announcement section of the Discord, and feel free to check it out. DM me if you're interested, and we'll talk about the possibility of you becoming a leader in the Tulit community by junior editor.
All right. And
That's amazing. That is amazing. That is a big thing, by the way. So if anybody wants to participate in this, feel free to hit Miss Jinkies up. Not me, not Shiny Hero, not Texas Sun, not none of the moderators, but Miss Jinkies.
Mm-hmm.
And then our biggest next question is who we raiding out to?
I was going to say, since this is a new thing, I was thinking we would let our guests be the one to direct us to who we're going to raid. Yes.
All right, Chunky
that is
Club,
a
get
thing.
in there. Go open up the Twitch and see who's online that you would like to dole out the support to. Everybody, if you could hang out and chat just a little bit longer so we can show some support to where we're our next destination, blow up their chat like we always do, and then you're free to do whatever you need to do. But we always want to show people love. If you stick around, whoever we end up going to, maybe host their channel, maybe throw them a follow. It helps. It helps the small streamer community immensely, and everybody appreciates it.
It helps everyone out. Like Shiny said, it helps with discoverability. They'll be like, okay, who's this Tulit supports? And maybe I like their community. Everybody's coming in and hyping it up. So, I mean, if you guys just let them know where you're from, which is the Tulit family.
Finpa!
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's big business right there. Let's go. How's it going?
Aww.
Oh, he's Santa Tibby.
Nice. But you know what? I'm gonna answer that right back with cool cat. I'll see your queen kitty with my cool cat kitty.
Uh-oh.
Somebody ban that.
I'm working
Right.
on it. If I
Oh,
if I
nice
have-
job. Radical got it.
Yay, thank you, Radical.
Like
Radical,
before it
you the
even
best.
before it even popped in, it was just like
Radical karate chop that.
So-
Nice job, Radical.
my vote is either Wicked Wax or Styles. Either one of those. They both only have 4 viewers, and
You
they're
know what?
playing similar games. So
I'm gonna vote with Styles if you don't mind, because I know he was kind of on the fence the other day, kind of feeling a little low.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't know. What do you think, guys?
I definitely would go with that. Styles, I'm not gonna go into everything, but he was a little down, and I just want to cheer him up. So you know how us family members do. We lift everybody up, we get everybody positive. So let's go in there and cheer him on as he's doing his thing. What is he playing? DBD or is he on Apex?
Apex.
Okay, let's cheer him on as he gets those dubs on Apex.
I don't know his
show.
full name, and I thought I was following him, but he's not showing up.
Here, I got you. I got you.
Naughty, naughty, naughty.
I see it.
My Twitch either is acting up or something, but I know you
I'll put
and
it in the
Jake
chat.
both-
I'll put it in the chat.
Thanks. I wasn't typing fast enough.
Yeah, I think Shiny J RI can do the raid from the stream.
Mine's still not giving me access. I think once I go out, I have to re-log into the StreamYard and finish the
Okay.
setup. So I think that's why I'm not seeing any of the commands yet.
Oh, thank you, Peaches.
There you go. I was trying to put it into a link.
Let's see if that works.
Everybody, just one more minute or so. Hang on.
Thanks, y'all, for
Remember-
hanging out with us today.
Blow up his chat. Yeah, and Chunky,
Yes.
thanks again for sharing so much. Really, that's very inspiring. Same thing, Jay, Jinkies. I think it's great that we're doing this and we're making that additional push that really goes hand in hand with the mental wellness.
Yes, I want to thank you, Chunky Pup, and thank you, Shiny, and thank you, Jinkies, for this. You guys have been amazing, and just keep it mind, every Wednesday of the week we'll be doing something different. Today was health. I think you have to do it from your phone. Hold on, let me see if I can do it from off.
Yeah, I'm still learning. Sorry, you guys.
Yeah, I think that was a thing we had.
We have another one. Buy followers prime. Somebody a radical ban life game.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's /raid. That's why it didn't work.
Oh,
Jay.
I did it the second time that way, just
okay.
thinking it was a mistake.
And it's TTV, not TVV.
Well, the second time it was a mistake anyway.
We're coming, Radic. We're coming, Styles. We're coming.
But yes, we encourage everybody from the Too Lit community to participate in these Too Lit Supports podcasts that we do. They are great. And if you guys want to get discovered and just kind of, shine, participate in the Too Lit community. Like, participate in these events that we have. It'll help
Jay,
out.
You're going to have to do it because I'm not logged into the Too Lit support channel on my phone, and it's not letting me do it from StreamYard.
Yeah, no, you can't do it from StreamYard. You actually have to go to the Too Lit Supports webpage, and then you hit /
Hold on, I can do it.
raid.
Yeah, I tried doing it as a mod, and it didn't work. I need to
Yeah, well, I mean,
put as an editor.
Hold on, I can do it.
I think it's spelled incorrectly and the slash is incorrect too.
I give up. I give up. I'm ready for bed. I'm a pumpkin.
You're like, that's it. I'm out. I'm out. Brain cell done.
Yeah.
Venturis, thank you.
Hey, son of Spawn, I see you. Thanks for coming
My
in.
boy Spawn. What's up, bro?
Yeah,
Oh, the spawn.
Oh, whatever. I still can't do it. There we go. We're working on it. We're cooking.
You got
with
it?
that. No, it's not letting me do it because I'm not an actual.
Jay, you got it?
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now. And here we go.
Yay!
Thank you guys for coming, and we appreciate you guys, and we will see you guys next week. And if we have anything sooner or later, we'll let you guys know in the Discord. So till then, y'all have a great one and stay too lit.
It's a wrap. Too lit.
Bye, everybody.
Too lit.